Hey guys, welcome to the shop. We're here at the reloading bench. Today we're going to spend a couple minutes together. I'm going to show you how to use our new tool. It's the PistolGear Xtractor tool. This is for removing the extractor on the XD and the XDM. While I show you this tool, I'm also going to show you how to completely tear down the top end of an XD or an XDM. It's an actual pretty simple process. If you've never done it before and you're scared to do it, I think after this video you'll be a little bit more confident in your abilities. If you don't like to write, I highly recommend you pick up this guide here by Gun Guides. This is the Springfield XD and XDM pistol assembly and reassembly guide. Obviously we were doing this well before the guide came out, but if you're new to the XD or an XD enthusiast, pick it up. It's full of great information, photos, directions, etc. So it's worth its weight in gold. Before we get started, let me talk to you a little bit about what we have on the bench here today. I've got a punch, a 5/32 inch punch. This is for pushing down the striker spring guide, as well as tapping in the extractor when we put the gun back together. Alright, I've got a 2mm roll pin punch. I've got a roll of duct tape. I've got a small hammer, which is used by jewelers or gunsmiths. Okay, I've got a larger hammer in case the little hammer fails me. Okay, I've got the extractor removal tool. I'll show you how that works here in a moment. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. First, show you clear. Go ahead and remove the slide. Put the frame aside, remove the guide rod and the barrel. Okay, so we're going to get at the extractor. The extractor is right here. Okay, you can see there's a gap, a wide gap and a small gap. The idea and the reason you remove the extractor, I don't know, maybe the hooks are broken, maybe you got a bunch of carbon in there that's actually filling the smaller gap, which is causing the hook to go that way, taking tension off and making it so it's not grabbing the head of the case. The rim of the case I should say, and pulling it out. Okay, so let's remove it. Show you how to take that extractor out. Real simple process. First we're going to move the striker spring guide. Okay, push down on that with your punch. Keep in mind the striker spring guide is under a lot of tension, so keep your hand over it so it doesn't go flying across the room. Put some glasses on so you don't take your eye out. Okay, remove the spring and the striker indicator. Okay, striker's still in there. Next we're going to remove the striker safety, which is held in by the striker safety pin. A lot of these things have intuitive names, so they're pretty easy to remember. There's a small pin right here. Okay, going to remove that. You can use your fingernail, a small screwdriver, whatever you got. Basically, pull up on this. As this pulls out, keep your thumb on top of the safety because it's also under tension. It's got a little spring in there. We don't want you to lose that or the spring. So go ahead and remove that and the little spring. Okay. Okay. So now the only thing we have left is the extractor and the striker. Let's go ahead and remove the extractor, the striker. Take my roll of duct tape, basically just going to use it as a rest. Take my little hammer and my punch. Just going to kind of tap down 5 times. Lift it out, make sure I'm still good. Tap it 5 more times. Lift it out. And that's it. 20-25 taps, you're out. The reason I take it out every 5 is I want to make sure that the punch isn't going inside the pin and only making it jam up and crack. So you take it out just to make sure you're not going in the pin. Alright. So now the striker will come out. So too will the small little rebound spring that the striker bounces on. So now the only thing we've got left is the extractor. So you know where the extractor is. Take your tool, put it in the large slot here. You slide it up and back, you'll notice there's a little step. The tool will go in the step, take the hook, put it underneath the extractor, okay, and basically just pry it up. Okay, a couple 2 or 3 pries. Extractor will lift right out, like so, like that. When you get your extractor out, take some dental tools, some steel or wire brushes. Work the hook, make sure you get all that carbon out of there. Make sure you don't have any little cracks on that claw. Any cracks or any dents, that's only going to make it less useful as far as true extraction goes. You want to make sure all the carbon is out of there so that hook has as much depth as possible. You also want to take a dental hook, some Q-tips, some degreaser, and you want to get all the carbon out from that works its way in here. Okay, because anything that gets along here is going to make the extractor go that way. And anytime the extractor goes that way, it has less hook or less claw to actually grab onto the rim of the case. Okay, so now let's put it back together. Saw how easy it was to take apart. it's actually easier to put back together. So first things first, extractor goes back in. Take my punch, press it back down. Okay. Take my rebound spring, put the rebound spring in there, follow my striker. Take my striker pin, put that in the top, tap it down. Use your finger to move the striker back and forth, making sure it moves freely as you're hammering it. Every three I kind of just move it back and forth. Alright, pretty simple, right? Now, let's put the striker safety back in. Take your small pin, put it in the hole. That tells you which way it goes into the slide. The one with the hole goes in. There's also a little detent or hole on the inside of the slide. Put the spring in both holes, making sure you don't lose it. A lot of guys will put some heavy grease or gunk or something in there to keep that spring locked in, bubble gum, whatever you feel is necessary. Just don't lose that spring. It'll ruin your day. Okay, hold the plunger or the striker safety in. Take your retainer pin, put the retainer pin in, push it in with your punch. Let go of your safety, make sure it moves freely. All's good there. Take your striker indicator, put that in, put your spring in, put in your spring guide, press it down on the table under a lot of tension. As I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure your eyes are covered here. Take your locking plate, move that up and over. Take your punch, press down and up. So there you have it, completely back together. Took us merely a couple minutes to do both, the taking down and putting back together. Pretty simple project. I hope you'll tackle it. It's actually real simple. Get a guide if you're not comfortable. Watch this video a few times. Get the tool. If you got the tool, you got the knowledge, you can do it. Good luck.